My name is Leo, and languages are important.
That's the right on, man. You said it all.
This episode is about programming languages, and I want to cover a few things. How programming languages came to be, some examples of programming languages, uses for common languages, what to consider when choosing a language, and I'll wrap up everything nicely in a conclusion. Just like there are different languages that people use to talk to each other, there are also different languages that people use to talk to computers. However, the computer only understands one thing. It's called binary. It's a series of ones and zeros that the computer then translates into instructions. So back in the day, some folks got together and decided that speaking computer was too hard. So they came up with a more human-readable language that could then be converted into binary. This was called assembly language, or assembly code. This was still pretty hard to understand, but way better than binary. Since this is further away from what the computer actually understands, this is called a higher level language. Then languages were created that were even easier to understand, and these would be translated into assembly code and then to binary. This trend continued, and more languages were developed. Some to conquer specific tasks, while others were more general-purpose, dynamic languages. Perhaps you've heard of Java, or Javascript. From the name of the two, you might think that they're related, but in fact, they're not. Back in 1995, Java was one of the most popular programming languages, and a guy named Brendan made this scripting language called Mocha, and he said, you know what, Java's super popular, so why don't I call my Mocha JavaScript? So he did. He got it trademarked, and Mocha became JavaScript. That's the end of the story. Some of the more strange languages that have been created include ones like Arnold C, where the syntax is made up entirely of Arnold Schwarzenegger catchphrases. There's even a language called Brain.
Watch your profanity.
Fortunately for us all, there isn't a need to sift through hundreds of languages to find just the right one you need. I'm going to focus on a small number of languages that I feel are relevant and popular, will likely lead to a job, and have strong communities behind them. Let's get started. In console gaming like Xbox or PlayStation, C++ and C# are two of the hot languages. They're behind the Unreal and Unity game engines, which have brought a lot of the games to the forefront, especially for independent developers. For browser-based games, Flash used to be the language of choice, but it has since fallen from grace and now all but completely replaced by JavaScript. If you're wanting to do mobile app or game development for the iPad or iPhone, you're going to want to learn Swift. There are a lot of games out there still developed in Objective-C, but the pony to pick going forward will be Swift. For Android development, Java is the way to go. There are a number of languages that are popular for web development. Ruby on Rails, JavaScript, PHP are all popular languages for making web pages and web applications. If you're learning web development, you're going to want to learn HTML and CSS as well. Don't worry, you're going to love CSS. Java and C++ are the two big bad bears of enterprise, big business software. But Python, Ruby, C#, JavaScript, and Go are also really popular in the startup and commercial spaces. Any back-end developer is going to need at some point to talk to a database. So knowing how to interact with SQL databases or NoSQL databases are going to be very important. Now that I've gone over some of the popular languages out there, let's talk about some other things to consider when learning a programming language. According to 2016 data from Indeed.com, the highest average developer salary was for Swift at $115,000 US, followed by Python and Ruby around $107,000. But something to consider is the availability of jobs. According to job trends at Indeed.com, C, SQL, Java, and JavaScript have the most job postings. Now, there are many startups that don't post job listings at places like Indeed. If we look at a place like AngelList, we're going to see that JavaScript, Python, and Ruby on Rails occupy the top 3 spots. If you're starting out, it's important to look at how many people are out there that can help you when you get stuck. Stack Overflow is a question and answer site for programmers. People post questions when they're stumped, and other programmers answer. It's like Yahoo Answers, but way less funny. According to their statistics, JavaScript, SQL, and Java are the top 3 most talked about languages, followed by C#, PHP, Python, while the languages that get their question answered the most are C, SQL, C++, Python, Ruby, and Java. Look in your area for meetups or organizations that are talking about coding languages or tech that you're interested in. Never underestimate the power of in-person help. What language you should learn is a highly talked about and heavily debated topic. The truth of the matter is, it doesn't really matter what language you decide to learn. Pick a popular and well-established language and just go with it. You'll be fine. Yeah, some languages are more difficult to learn and some are a bit easier. But the time spent learning a programming language is not wasted. If you have any comments or questions that you'd like to have answered, feel free to put them down here in the comments section, and I will do my very best to answer them for you. If you think this was useful or entertaining, please tell your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Yeah, Sam does a good robot and all, but I don't really know where to put it, you know? It doesn't seem to fit anywhere. I don't know where I'm supposed to...
Just stick it at the end.